top stories tonight. 6 members of House of Representatives dumped Labour Party, People's Democratic Party for the ruling All Progressives Congress. Military veterans barricade entrance to Finance Ministry over unpaid entitlements. Borno Deputy Governor, over 100 others escape aircraft mishap. And opposition candidate John Mahama holds final rally ahead of general elections in Ghana. Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Let's begin by telling you that as plenary resumed at the House of Representatives on Thursday, 5 lawmakers of the Labour Party, LP, defected to the All Progressives Congress, APC. They are Esosa Iyawe Edo, Tochukwu Okere Imo, Donatus Matthew Kaduna, Basi Akiba Cross River, and Doyop Form Plateau. Also, a lawmaker, Riatake Ibori Swenu Delta, dumped the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the APC. The now former Labour Party lawmakers cited divisions within their party as the main reason for their defection. After over 20 years of its formation, pro-workers political organization Labour Party made inroads into mainstream politics during the 2023 election as the party got 6 Senate and over 34 House of Representatives seats.
After much reflection and careful consideration, I have concluded that the All Progressive Party aligns more closely with my values, principles, and visions for the future of our country. I believe this decision will better enable me to serve the interests of our people and contribute more effectively to the development of policies that will drive positive change. During my time with Labour Party, I have worked diligently to support the party's initiatives. However, after careful examination of the political landscape, I have come to the realization that my political ideas are not better represented by All Progressive Party. This is not a decision I take lightly, and it has been made after deep personal reflection. I remain committed to working tirelessly to support the goals and objectives of All Progressive Party, and I'm eager to contribute to its success. I trust that you will understand my position and will support me as I make this transition to a new chapter in my political career.
Reacting, the Labour Party says it would request the leadership of the House of Representatives to declare vacant the seats of its former members who recently defected to the All Progressive Congress. The opposition party also vowed to take legal action against the defecting lawmakers and announced that it would open up register for members of the House and other elected officials who disgraced the party by switching allegiance to other political platforms. This was disclosed in a statement issued in Abuja by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo. Ifo's concerns followed the defection of several lawmakers in the House to the ruling APC as the defection letters were read on the floor of the Green Chamber by the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, on Thursday. Let's get some perspective now. We're joined by political analyst Jide Ojo. Jide, it's good to see you again. I mean, a lot of persons were expecting that this would happen. Surprise is not in question. But I want you to speak specifically to the lawmaker Donatus Matthew. His comments when asked about the backing of his constituency, he said his decision was based on conviction, and the sort that we heard earlier also said something about the parties not aligning with his convictions, his beliefs. Agreed that the LP isn't living up to expectations, but neither is APC and El Dorado. Could this conviction perhaps have anything to do with political survival other than the stated reason? Jude, I think your device is muted. Okay, great. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Compliments of the UTAG. I saw this coming when the crisis in the Labour Party took a very frightening dimension last month. Recall that the only governorship candidate, only state that Labour Party is in control of is Abia. Abia State had its local government election sometimes last month. And surprisingly, the party that produced the governor did not win a single councillorship or local government chairperson seat in Abia. Rather, 15 out of the 17 local governments were won in that local government elections by Zenith Labour Party and 2 by Young People's Party. And it is part of that fallout of the intractable leadership crisis that have engulfed the Labour Party between the Akure camp and the NLC and all of that. And this I warned in several media interviews that once you have leadership crises that are intractable like this, you are paving way for loss of your members. In fact, in Enugu State, some members of the Labour Party had earlier defected to the ruling PDP in Enugu. And this is now a follow-up action. And even the few senatorial seats that is currently being occupied by Labour Party, there is no guarantee that those 6 senators will remain with the party till 2027, because as you have hinted, it's all about political survival. And when you have a party in crisis, those crises, if you don't manage it very well, it will cost you what we are seeing. Interestingly, my friend Obiora Ifo is saying that the Speaker of House of Reps should declare the seats of those members who defected from their party to APC vacant. I mean, that is a wishful thinking. No, I can't see how Speaker House of Reps, Abbas Tajuddin, will declare the seats of those members vacant. And if he does not write to INEC to say that these people are in breach of Section 68, subsection 1G of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as altered, then nothing will happen to them. In the worst case scenario, the Labour Party will drag the members to court, where the members are already in their second year. By the time they go through the drills from the High Court to Court of Appeal to Supreme Court, the tenure of these members will have even been expired. So by and large, I think the Labour Party should be willing and ready to lick their wounds. Well, I've also heard him saying they are going to open an all of shame book. Well, it's in order, but the economic loss to the Labour Party is huge, because it is the elected members of the party that support and fund the operations of the party secretariat. And right now, with these 5 losses today, and the potential to lose more if they don't resolve their leadership crisis, Labour Party may be down to 0 level ahead of 2027.
All right. I was going to ask you to speak on the jumpology mentality that was described in the statement by the Labour Party, but I think you've actually touched on some of those issues. So I would rather ask about the implication for opposition generally with these repeated defections. We're expecting more defections to happen in the future, but what is the bigger picture here? What are we not seeing?
Well, Felicity, we are gravitating towards a de facto one-party state. And that has been the worrisome development over the years. It happened during the 16 years of PDP, where opposition lawmakers found it convenient to jump into PDP from whatever party that produces them. Now, from 2015 to date, we've also been seeing the same syndrome afflicting the opposition party to the All Progressive Congress. And I must say, apart from the leadership crisis within the party, there is also a tinge of the political survivor. These people are looking at the prospects of getting the re-election in 2027, and they feel that if they are in APC early enough, they will stand a better chance to get their re-election ticket. But there is no guarantee about that. Suffice to also say that the opposition elements are also playing into the hands of the ruling All Progressive Congress, because it's very easy to demonize and finger point at APC as being behind the bane of the root coups and the instability in all the opposition parties. But if you know the source of your problem, the next thing is to fix that problem. So the fear is that we are gravitating towards a one-party state, and that is a bad omen for our democracy. We were looking at possibility of saying we are a dominant two-party state. But you could see that even in what has happened in the House of Reps today, PDP also lost a member. That's the daughter of the former governor of Delta State, James Ikori. His daughter also defected from APC, from PDP to APC, which then means that the rank of PDP legislature is also diminishing, it's also reducing, which is why it is also in the enlightened best interest of PDP to also quickly fix its own leadership crisis and ensure that the party stands strong as the main opposition party and that is ready and willing to wrestle power.
Some would argue with you that there doesn't seem to be real opposition in Nigerian politics at the moment, but that's conversation for another day. I'm told we're out of time for this interview. Thank you for speaking with us.
It's my pleasure.
Let's move on now to update on the tax reform. The Nigerian Senate has debunked claims that the proposed tax reform bills have been suspended or withdrawn. Senate President Godswill Akpabio made this clear on Thursday, emphasizing the chamber's independence and its dedication to protecting the interest of Nigerians. Akpabio's statement followed a point of order raised by Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele, who expressed dissatisfaction with media reports suggesting the bill had been withdrawn. He clarified that the executive holds the right to withdraw the bill, but not the Senate. Bamidele explained that the Senate's earlier debates on the bill revealed areas of concern, prompting the creation of an ad hoc committee to review those issues and report back to the chamber.
As far as we are concerned, the tax reform bills are alive in this hollow chamber. They are receiving consideration at various levels, and we are open to discussions, to negotiations, to interface. But let it not be said anywhere that we suspended further consideration of these bills. And also it would be laughable for anybody to also think or say or report that the bills were withdrawn. Because like I said, there are executive bills that can only be withdrawn by the executive. And there's no reason to do so. Because these bills we believe are in overriding public interest, and we do everything possible to ensure that across geopolitical interests, across, political parties, across every religious interest, everybody that has concern, civil society, everybody that has concern is given a chance to contribute to the passage of these laws.
I also shy away from deleting or abrogating or stopping whatever we feel is not in the public interest. But for the tax reform bills, we believe that there are too many provisions there that would definitely help Nigerians. You can't imagine what it means for businesses that earn less than 50 million not to pay tax. You can't imagine what it means for multiplicity of taxes to be abrogated. You can't imagine what it means for people who earn less than the minimum wage or even minimum wage not to pay tax. So the exemptions are such that up to 100 million Nigerians will benefit from these tax reform bills. So let's not listen to social media, let's not listen to Arise Television, and I hope they are well guided with the explanation of the Senate leader.
A group of Nigerian military veterans have protested at the nation's Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, demanding the payment of the entitlements and benefits owed to them by the federal government for over 1 year. The veterans barricaded the entrance of the ministry for several hours, insisting on compensation, including palliative payments, reimbursement of deductions, a 20% to 28% salary addition, and about 32,000 naira added to their pension, among others. Our correspondent Idong Joseph has more on this story.
This protest comes after months of unfulfilled promises and mounting frustration by military veterans following years of active service on the front line for the nation. Barricading the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, they are demanding the payment of their long-promised entitlements, which have remained unpaid.
We have come to request approval of funds from Ministry of Finance to pay our outstanding entitlements, and they are not really big money.
I am just about 65 years old. But what about those who are up to 80 years amongst us here? Some of us do not even afford money to buy a house or to build a house on our own. Tell me, how will you be happy?
Things are very hard. Our pension cannot even take us home. So we have to struggle to feed ourselves and our family. And this has affected us a lot.
While expressing concerns about repeated promises made to them, they say that they will continue their protest until they receive payments.
If we are given the impression that it's all about Ministry of Finance not releasing funds, we have decided to take our fight to Ministry of Finance, that they must approve our money and we get some assurance in form of credit alert before we leave here.
After several hours of waiting and negotiation, the leadership of the Military Pension Board arrived at the scene, promising the release of parts of the funds owed.
Nobody closes until we pay people your money today. All right, sir.
The veterans are insisting that the failure to complete the remaining balance by the end of December will lead to further protests. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Coming up, Borno Deputy Governor, 100 others escape plane incident. That's after the break. Do join us again. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. 6 members of House of Representatives dumped Labour Party, People's Democratic Party, for the ruling All Progressives Congress. Military veterans barricade entrance to Finance Ministry over unpaid entitlements. Borno Deputy Governor, over 100 others escaped aircraft mishap. Opposition candidate John Mahama holds final rally ahead of general elections in Ghana. The Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Kadafur and over 100 other passengers narrowly escaped a tragic incident when a MAX Air aircraft experienced an engine fire shortly after takeoff from Maiduguri International Airport. The incident occurred around 7 p.m. when the aircraft en route to Abuja suffered engine failure caused by a bird strike about 10 minutes into the flight. The pilot and crew managed to execute an emergency landing back at Maiduguri Airport, averting disaster. A MAX Air staff who spoke on condition of anonymity confirmed the incident on Thursday morning. Following the emergency landing, passengers were reportedly in a state of panic, with many opting to collect their luggage and return home rather than board another flight. Following a protest by some members of Nsulu community in Isialangwa North local government area of Abia State, Southeast Nigeria, over siting of an airport in their community, the state government says it has followed all the agreed processes of acquiring the property. Chief of Staff to the Governor, Alex Oti, says government began engagement with the community since June 2024. My colleague, Chinwe Ugele, has details.
To the protesters, their community has no immediate need of an airport. They also claim that the government has failed to engage them on its plan concerning their lands. However, the traditional ruler of one of the communities that will be affected by the land acquisition by government, Eze Christopher Ebere of Umar International Autonomous Community, says it is a consensus within the communities in Nsulu that government can site the airport in their area.
But this one now, the government says they are going to pay them for their land. Why should they struggle? I'm advising the government. His Majesty is asking the government to go ahead.
But why would people protest having an airport in their domain, which promises to bring about development and create job opportunities?
It is the people who don't know what is called development. If they know development, why shouldn't they allow the governor to erect airport, to put airport here?
Affirming the position of the traditional ruler, Chisom Wonwe, the President General of Greater Nsulu Youth, says some people misunderstand the whole situation initially.
We have 9 villages that has been involved in this airport project, but it's only Mbosi Omama that protested. Not really everybody in Mbosi Omama that protested. Some people got the information wrongly, or by the special grace of God, that has been cleared. So we are all in the same page now.
The government has already begun survey of the 1,350 hectares of land for the airport, said to be a federal government project, as explained by the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Caleb Ajaba, and Chaka Chukwumerije, Commissioner for Lands and Housing.
What has been going on, especially in the social media, is to say that no, we did not know anything about it. Nobody informed us, nobody told us anything about it, but those are all lies. Now, this is a letter written from Omona Nsulu Community Leaders Forum. There are a lot of things that will just automatically adjust upwards because of this singular project.
When we started the process of the community engagement, I think that we identified initially 5 communities involved, which grew to 7 communities, which grew to 9 communities. In entering the field, if there's a 10 community, if there's 11 community, this is a government that is willing and open to engage.
The airport project is going to be the first that Abia State will have, and then the people have shown cooperation with the government. But then there is also concerns that have been expressed by some villagers concerning their land that they may use in farming. Hopefully, government and the villagers will reach a compromise to allow this project stand. In Umar for News Central, I am Chinwe Ugele.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has flagged off the construction of access roads to the EFCC Academy in Abuja. The minister says that the road project will open the area and provide farmers with access to the city center. Amadine Uyi reports.
The area is largely undeveloped, with large swaths of land not telling the true story, as a road leads to the EFCC Academy. Several in attendance, including the Secretary of the EFCC, the Permanent Secretary of the FCT Civil Service Commission, and the Senator representing the FCT, commended the Minister for his strides in infrastructural development.
On behalf of the Chairman, Mr. Ola Olukayode, and the management of EFCC, we express our profound gratitude to the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Army Forces, our father, our leader, and also the bulldozer, who is the Minister of FCT.
This development
in this community or in this area that you are bringing. It's not only for the end users, but it's open up the FCT and the commercial activities, both the farming and other activities.
It is important to state that this is the first time in history of FCT that the territory is witnessing full-scale massive infrastructural development across the length and the breadth of the city.
The minister cleared the air over the road project, saying it was not targeted at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, but to develop the area for plot owners.
A lot of them are talking about EFCC, making it as if we are doing the road for EFCC. It happened that they are going to be one of the beneficiaries. You know, the essence of the road is not for EFCC, but it's to open up areas which they are also going to benefit for the fact that the academy is also located in this area. The community will also benefit. People will now come and build houses. Farmers will bring their produce to the city.
He also adds that the purpose of the road is to decongest the city center.
If this road is done and people are living here, you don't need to go to the city and live. You go from here to work within 20 minutes. You're already at your work place. So thank Mr. President for giving us this opportunity to contribute towards the infrastructural development of FCT.
The minister says that the road project will be commissioned as part of the second year anniversary in office of the president. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uji.
Chairman of Nigeria's Anti-Graft Agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has pledged to safeguard and monitor recovered funds to ensure they are not relooted. The chairman, Ola Olukoyede, made this known in Abuja during a town hall meeting organized by the agency to mark the 2024 International Anti-Corruption Day. Our correspondent, Joshua Imarayi, tells us more.
The stage as Nigeria's Anti-Graft Agency, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission held a town hall meeting to mark the 2024 International Anti-Corruption Day. The event was attended by student groups, transparency organization, and anti-graft crusaders who converged at the EFCC headquarters in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. In his speech, the EFCC chairman says that the commission remains committed to ensuring that no recovered funds are relooted.
And we said any money we recover or property we recover, we will not allow it to be relooted again. So we are not just going to recover and go to sleep. No, we'll monitor what is done with it. So we are proud to say that well over 20,000 civil servants have also benefited from the Credit Corp project that they use the process of crime recovered by EFCC to also support, in addition to net fund.
Panelists at the town hall session urged Nigerian youths to become agents of change within their respective communities.
Young people, you can be agents of change. Nobody's going to do the work for you. We're helping you to do the work because this is your future. If you see something anywhere, even if your father is a minister and is corrupt, speak out.
It is important that young people begin to understand that there's a huge implication for supporting corruption and corrupt people. Otherwise, I cannot understand how somebody, will be standing trial in court for corruption, polluting, and then youth who are hungry will now be rented to go and be supporting that kind of person.
The town hall meeting highlighted the importance of collective responsibility in fostering transparency in the country, urging young Nigerians to join the fight to entrench a corruption-free nation. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarayi.
Let's head on now to Delta State, where the governor, Sheriff Oborowori, has disbursed financial grants to 2,000 micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, in the state to grow their businesses and cushion the effects of the inclement economic realities in the country. Speaking during the disbursement ceremony of the More Business Upskill program held in Asaba, organized by the Delta State Job and Wealth Creation Bureau, Governor Oborowori said the gesture was designed to empower the entrepreneurs to cushion effects of economic hardship. He charged the beneficiaries to take the knowledge garnered from the More Business component of the program to advance the businesses and leverage on networking among participants.
And I know that today, these 2,000 are going to empower to make a lot of impact in this administration. Good thing about this 2,000, they are taking fresh ones, fresh 1,000. People that have not been empowered before, whether from job creation or from any other group, not empowered before, fresh ones. Then also another 1,000 from those who have gone through their process of the job and wealth creation office. They are struggling with their business. You know the times are very tough. And able to identify them. Because the good thing is that to identify them, not on sentiment. And those are another 1,000, making 2,000.
Still ahead, opposition candidate John Mahama holds final rally ahead of general elections in Ghana. We'll tell you more when we come back from this very short break. Don't go away. Thank you for staying with us. Former Ghanaian president and NDC flag bearer John Mahama wrapped up his final campaign rally on Thursday ahead of Saturday's high-stakes presidential election. Saturday's vote pits Mahama against the ruling New Patriotic Party's candidate, Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia, in what analysts predict will be a tight race. Mahama, who previously served as president, urged voters to give him another chance to lead. Ghana, Africa's top gold producer and a major cocoa exporter, has long been considered a beacon of democratic stability in West Africa. However, this election comes at a critical time for the nation, as the campaign has been dominated by economic concerns. Our correspondent Bernard Akede, who is live in Kumasi, joins us now to give more updates. Bernard, thanks for joining us. What are the citizens saying ahead of Saturday's election? Okay, we'll try and do that in a bit, but while we sort that out, let's go to Togo and tell you that that country will hold its first election for the upper house of parliament, the Senate, on February the 2nd, one of the last steps towards implementing a contested new constitution. The overhaul abolishes the election of the head of state by universal suffrage and introduces a parliamentary system. It has been slammed by opposition and civil society groups as a ploy by President Faure Gnassingbe to hold on to power indefinitely. Togo's strong man has ruled over the West African country of 8.8 million people since 2005, when he took over from his father in power for 38 years. Under the previous constitution, Gnassingbe would have been able to run for the presidency just one more time in 2025. But with the reform, Togo's president becomes a mostly ceremonial role elected by parliament and not the people for a 4-year term. All right, let's go for a short break. We'll be right back and see if we can connect with Bernard Akede. Just stay with us. Let's head on now to our business desk for today's update.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has implored development partners and other stakeholders to bridge systemic inequalities and foster an inclusive, unbiased financial system that benefits all Nigerians, irrespective of gender or geography. He identified some unsettling gaps yearning for serious attention, including low penetration of digital financial services among women. Shettima also listed some socio-economic barriers behind these inequalities, including low incomes, limited education and restricted access to financial tools such as credit and insurance. He gave the charge during the inaugural Development Partners Roundtable on Economic and Financial Inclusion at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The Vice President, who was represented by Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Adejia, warned that Nigeria's vision of building a $1 trillion economy by the year 2030 would remain an illusion except the private sector and development partners were fully engaged. A bill for an act to prohibit gas flaring, encourage gas utilization, and provide for penalties and remedies for gas flaring violations and related matters has killed the second reading in Nigeria's House of Representatives. The sponsor of the bill, Benson Babajimi, in his lead debate on Thursday said the bill represented a decisive legislative intervention aimed at addressing the long-standing and damaging practice of gas flaring in the country. According to him, it is firmly rooted in Nigeria's constitutional obligation to protect the environment and promote sustainable development. The lawmaker said that the bill sought to prohibit the flaring and venting of natural gas except in strictly regulated circumstances, while encouraging the utilization of gas resources to foster economic growth and energy generation. Namibia's annual inflation rate for November 2024 is slightly lower than what was registered in October 2024, according to the Namibia Consumer Price Index Bulletin for November, released by Namibia Statistics Agency Chief Executive Alex Shimalfeni. The inflation stood at 3.0% compared to 5.7% registered in November 2023. On a monthly basis, the inflation rate for November was 0.3%, slightly lower than the 0.4% registered in October 2024. The analysis for the average retail prices for selected products in November 2024 showed that consumers in Zone 3 paid the highest price for a 5-kilogram bag of maize meal at 71 Namibian dollars 19 cents, followed by Zone 2 at 70 Namibian dollars 99 cents, while consumers in Zone 1 paid the lowest price of 70 Namibian dollars 3 cents. And that's all on Business News. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business News in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Bernard, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you too. You look so tired. Pele?
Thank you.
We can do as long as we can.
Oh, sure.
I'm just asking questions and he responds. Okay. Let's head back to Kumasi for a bit and speak with my colleague Bernard Akede for update on expected elections on Saturday, presidential election in Ghana. Bernard, just to establish a connection again, do confirm you can hear me. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. I can hear you loud and clear, Felicity.
Fantastic. So go ahead and give us an update as to what citizens are telling you ahead of Saturday's polls.
So I was just going to reiterate what you were saying earlier in your introduction, that it's looking like it's going to be a very tight elections come Saturday. Tomorrow, as I've been able to gather, will be a free work-free day, basically a public holiday for people to prepare for the elections. Now, you clearly mentioned the two top candidates are people who are very well known to Ghanaians and to the rest of the world. The first one is the current vice president. That's talking about Muhammadu. His name seems to have escaped me now, but he's the current vice president of Ghana. And then you have John Mahama, who was the former president in Ghana. Now, the two of them know each other very well, and Ghanaians know them both very well. So it's going to be a very, very tight one, like you clearly stated. Although the country has been praised, like you said as well, for having very stable, democracy in the West African sub-region. However, the past 8 years and the later part of the past 8 years, many Ghanaians have criticized the current government, complaining that there have been too many taxes, complaining that the economy has really taken some kind of nosedive, complaining that the standard of living has dropped, complaining about the level of education. So there's so many things that Ghanaians are complaining about, and these things that are quite familiar to many Africans, because it's pretty much almost the same thing that other Africans are complaining about in their own country. So here's the thing now. While some are saying that John Mahama has been president before, if he did it right, there's no need for him to try and come back again. Others are saying that the current government has not done so well, and that whatever the current president, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, has been doing also rubbed off on his deputy. So why should the deputy come back or come and take over from his principal? So it's going to be a very tight race, if you ask me. However, I also asked about security and safety. Ghanaians are quite confident that their elections have always been peaceful, and it will be peaceful again. And then finally, I also tried to inquire about the Electoral Commission, if they think the Electoral Commission has its foot on the pedal concerning preparedness for the election, and the result concerning that question was also quite a positive one. So we're looking for good polls come Saturday, peaceful election, but eventually I do think it's going to be a tight one.
Indeed, Bernard, I just wanted you to land so we can just remind our viewers of the name of the vice president. That's Muhammadu Bawumia. I mean, you've had a really long day, so we thank you. We'll let you go catch your rest ahead of tomorrow. All right, let's go over to our sports desk. The sports team has the latest update.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Hello and welcome. This is Sports News. Ogun State's preparations to host the 22nd National Sports Festival, tagged the Gateway Games, will come under scrutiny next week during the joint technical meeting of the main organizing committee. The critical meeting, which includes top stakeholders, is scheduled to take place from December 11th to 13th in Ogun State. According to the organizers, the JTM will conduct a comprehensive inspection of all facilities built or renovated for the festival to ensure they meet the required standards. The MOC emphasized that this inspection will be pivotal in assessing Ogun State's readiness to deliver a successful and memorable national sports festival. The competition was originally scheduled to be hosted in November 2024. Reigning NPFL champions Rangers International FC of Enugu have announced free entry for fans and supporters for their Matchday 16 clash against leaders Rivers United. The match is scheduled for Sunday, December 8, 2024 at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium. According to the club management, the gesture is a celebration of the Unitide season and a token of appreciation for their loyal fans. Fourth place Rangers will aim to continue an impressive 8-match unbeaten run under coach Fidelis Ilechukwu and currently sit fourth on the log with an unbeaten stretching to 8 matches this season. Rivers United, managed by former Super Eagles manager Finidi George, will be hoping to maintain their lead at the top of the log as the season nears the halfway mark. Phoenix Suns forward Kevin Durant has suffered a sprained left ankle and will miss the next week of the NBA season before being re-evaluated. Durant suffered the injury in the second quarter of Tuesday's 104-93 victory over San Antonio Spurs when he stepped on the foot of the Spurs' Julian Champagne. He is set to miss games against the New Orleans Pelicans, Miami Heat and Orlando Magic before next week's checkup. Durant, a two-time NBA champion, has averaged 25.8 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 3.1 assists for the Suns this season. He was out for 11 days last month with a left calf strain. The 36-year-old U.S. playmaker was the 2014 NBA Most Valuable Player and is a 14-time NBA All-Star and a two-time MVP of the NBA Finals and the NBA All-Star Game. The International Olympic Committee has no concerns over working with Donald Trump and his incoming administration on the Los Angeles 2028 Summer Olympics, given the president-elect's continued support of those games, IOC President Thomas Bach said on Thursday. The Los Angeles Olympics were awarded in 2017 when Trump was president following his first election victory. Trump also met Bach at the White House in 2017, shortly before the games were awarded to Los Angeles. While the LA Games do not depend on federal funding like most other Olympics, as the project is privately funded, the U.S. federal government plays a key role in providing security, transport, and travel assistance, amongst other areas of support for the events. And that's it on Sports Tonight. My name is Okpeoluwa Adibari.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Our correspondent Bernard Akede, who is live in Kumasi, joins us now to give more updates. Bernard, thanks for joining us. What are the citizens saying ahead of Saturday's election? Up next is entertainment.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Nigerian comedian and activist Mr. Macaroni has doubled down on his advocacy for the release of human rights activist and lawyer Dele Farutimi, and by extension called out Nigerians who support corrupt politicians. In a series of tweets made on X today, he took a strong stand against corruption and the misuse of power by public officials and called out supporters of such acts, saying politicians will come and go. The only constant thing is the country. When you support corrupt politicians for whatever reason, you contribute to the rot in the system and reduce any tiny chance to make things better. You are a traitor and you have no shred of dignity. In another post, he wrote, "How can the system in which the people seek justice be so criminal?" Dele Farutimi called it, and the script plays itself right before our eyes. Oppressors have completely taken over the country, and you can now be the aggrieved judge and jury all at once in Nigeria. His comments coming the wake of the arrest of human rights lawyer Dele Farutimi, whose detention has sparked widespread outrage. Since the arrest and detention, Macaroni has condemned the incident online, as other celebrities did. Cynthia Erivo, Jeremy Renner, and Sarah Jessica Parker are set to participate in the Candid discussion at the Red Sea Film Festival, the 4th edition of the indie film event in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Organizers announced this today, adding to the festival's star-studded lineup. Erivo, known for her role as Elphaba in Wicked alongside Ariana Grande, will join the event, which celebrates her portrayal in the backstory of Oz witches. Renner, who overcame a life-threatening accident in 2023, has returned to the spotlight as the lead in Paramount Plus's Mayor of Kingstown. Parker, celebrated for her iconic role as Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City, will also share insights into her storied career. The festival, running through December 14th, also announced new In Conversations with sessions featuring Oscar winner Brenda Fraser and Indian cinema star Shraddha Kapoor of Street 2. These discussions provide a platform for the luminaries to reflect on their careers, challenges, and inspirations. Fraser's recent accolade, coupled with Kapoor's popularity in Indian cinema, promises engaging conversations for festival attendees. Earlier, the event confirmed additional sessions with Emily Blunt, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Nick Jonas, and Michelle Yeoh, amongst others. That's all on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Our correspondent Bernard Akede, who is live in Kumasi, joins us now to give more updates. Bernard, thanks for joining us. What are the citizens saying ahead of Saturday's election? And that's all we have for you tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. 6 members of House of Representatives have dumped Labour Party, People's Democratic Party for the ruling All Progressives Congress. Military veterans have barricaded entrance to Finance Ministry over unpaid entitlements. Borno Deputy Governor, over 100 others have escaped aircraft mishap. And opposition candidate John Mahama has held final rally ahead of general elections in Ghana. You can catch up on all the latest news by watching News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you very much for your kind company. Have a good night.